Hello, everyone, and happy holidays. You are listening to Scenecraft. From opening shots to long takes and epilogues, we examine our favorite scenes from cinema here on the podcast. I'm Cody, here with my fellow Who's.
Mark.
And Connor.
Happy holidays. Thank you all so much for tuning into our third year of the Scenecraft podcast. And we are so excited to say that we have made it all the way here at the end of 2025 to episode 50. We hope you've enjoyed this year's slate of episodes and pro take interviews, and we'd love to hear from you about what you'd like us to cover next year. So feel free to drop us an email at contact@scenecraftpodcast and let us know. And maybe as a little holiday gift to us, give us a star rating or review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're an ad-free, independent podcast, and every positive review really does help us book guests and spread the word about the show. Like last year's Home Alone 2 holiday special, we are changing up our usual format to focus on the entirety of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard and starring Jim Carrey, Taylor Momsen, Jeffrey Tambor, and Molly Shannon, among many others.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Wrong-o.
You're the
Grinch! I must stop this Christmas from coming!
Director Ron Howard and producer Brian Grazer invite you
Forgot about the reindeer. Action! Brilliant!
to celebrate the holiday classic
Holiday Hoobie Waddy.
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
in theaters.
This could change my entire outlook on life!
Really?
No.
If you've read any of the classic Dr. Seuss stories or have seen any of the adaptations, you'll know that the logline reads, "On the outskirts of Whoville lives a green, revenge-seeking Grinch who plans to ruin Christmas for all of the citizens of the town." Okay, so a little context for our listeners, speaking personally, my first real experience with the Grinch was growing up watching the original 1966 animated special, which I did every year at my grandparents' house in Wisconsin on VHS and this really small CRT television in their basement. I loved that tradition, just one of those experiences that just flashes you back to simpler times,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Ron Howard adaptation I first saw in theaters when I was 10. It's been infinitely quoted in my family in daily life over the years, arguably more so than any other piece of media. I really don't know why. It's just universally beloved in my family. So interestingly, with all that said, Connor, you had never seen this adaptation, and Mark, you had only seen it maybe once. Is that right, guys?
That's right.
And follow up, did Dr. Seuss have any significance for you growing up?
Yeah. I mean, we grew up reading the books in my family, not so much watching the Grinch animated version or any of the movies or TV shows that were adapted, but yeah, had all the books growing up, loved Dr. Seuss.
I think it was pretty similar for me as well. We read the books, and anytime we saw the original animated version, it was usually in school when they would roll in
Yeah,
the TV on wheels and everything. But other than that,
that's right for me too.
Awesome. Well, with that said, I think we can let the audience know that we three watched The Grinch together over Zoom week and a half ago or so in preparation for this episode. And guys, I was expecting a frolicking good time, plenty of laughs, and in the end, praise that I made an excellent choice for our holiday special this year. But fate had something else in store for me.
Ooh.
So this time, I will begin with my general take, an opening statement to appeal to the jury, our listeners, in what may end up being a landmark trial for the very soul of a beloved holiday film. So here we go.
oh boy.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, our esteemed listeners, lovers of cinema, seekers of truth, I stand before you not merely to defend a film, but to defend imagination itself. Because today, I anticipate that my colleagues here on the podcast will step forward with frost in their hearts,
Okay.
They may tell you that Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a garish, chaotic, or perhaps even, prepare yourselves, nauseating film.
Okay.
They may even suggest that you, dear jury, should be embarrassed for enjoying it. But before they spew their vitriol, their anti-Christmas spirit, let us examine the evidence honestly. Ron Howard's Grinch is not just an adaptation. It is an act of world building on a scale rare for family films of its time. The production design painstakingly crafted by artists who understood that Seuss's world is not the world that we inhabit, does not aim for subtlety, nor should it. Whoville is an organism unto itself, curved lines, impossible architecture, colors that refuse to whisper when they can sing. This is not aesthetic chaos. This is intentional immersion. The entire visual language, yes, even the frenetic camera moves, is designed to place us squarely inside a snowflake, inside a storybook, inside the exaggerated psyche of the Who's. If your stomach flips at the ride, that is not a flaw. It is evidence that the filmmakers succeeded in pulling you into a world where everything is loud, fast, bustling, and joyously absurd. And at the center of this handcrafted snow globe of cinematic whimsy stands Jim Carrey, delivering one of the most astonishing, challenging comedic performances ever put to film. This is a masterclass in physical comedy. Many actors perform characters. Carrey inhabits his. He disappears into the role in a way that expands Seuss's creation. You need only watch the smallest of his improvised gestures, deviously pulling a tablecloth, expecting objects to clatter to the ground, but storming back to the table only to throw them to the ground anyway. Now that is a comedic performer in full command of his craft. And let us not overlook Ron Howard, a director often praised for reliability, but here demonstrating audacity. This film was not a simple undertaking. It required a steady hand to manage tone, scale, and emotional sincerity beneath the comic uproar. Howard directs with confidence, letting the camera tilt and whirl when needed, grounding scenes of emotional clarity when required, and orchestrating a movie that feels alive. This is not a timid adaptation. It is a cinematic statement. Now, I expect my co-hosts Mark and Connor will inevitably step forth and declare that this film is too much, too loud, too strange, too weird, too busy. But to that, I must ask, do we criticize a snowflake for having too many facets?
Okay.
Do we scorn a Christmas tree for glowing too brightly? Or is it simply that some among us fear whimsy, refusing to be small? Connor, a good man that he is, may tell you that the Grinch didn't capture his attention. It's not for him, but he did not give it a chance.
Wow.
As expressed earlier, we, the co-hosts, watched this film together. And ladies and gentlemen, you will be sickened to learn that Connor found the hypnotic glow of his cellular device far more fascinating than the magic unfolding on screen. For shame. And Mark, let's not forget him. May bring expressive camera work into question, but one must ask whether the restraint is the appropriate quality for a story whose very DNA is exaggeration. If a man walks into Whoville demanding realism, one must gently suggest that he is lost. If a man views the Grinch and sees only noise, perhaps that says less about the film and more about the limits of his own imaginative bandwidth. Ladies and gentlemen, this film endures today not because it is safe, but because it is bold. The Grinch's transformation is delivered not with irony, but sincerity. Amid the spectacle, the emotional core beats strong, delivering an important rallying cry against the increasing materialism of this decaying society we are living within, riddled with AI slop and corporate mergers. The Grinch is a work of handcrafted oddity and infectious joy, a cinematic achievement whose artistry and ambition have garnered growing appreciation over time, especially from those who revisit it with untainted eyes and realize how much unprecedented talent lies beneath the creative. So as we begin this episode, I ask you, the listener, to hold on to clarity and joy, not this jaded worldview that my colleagues will present. Ask yourselves whether the complaints you may hear are truly about the film, or simply ambivalence towards a world that chooses wonder over realism, color over gray, and sincerity over snark. For in the end, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is not merely a film. It is a celebration of creative audacity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is worth defending. I cede my time. Counselor Mark, please proceed.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Had I known you were going to be coming in today with like guns loaded, pointed at Connor and I feel like my general take would have been a little bit different, but I'm just going to go ahead with what I have here. Connor, I'm going to be relying on you now. This is a war now. Okay. I will say this. I have a feeling that we're going to have a Goldilocks situation on our hands here. Cody is going to undoubtedly be the hottest on this, Connor the coldest, and I'll probably sit somewhere in between.
Okay.
Which doesn't usually happen much, honestly.
No, it doesn't. Usually we kind of fall one side or the other on the line, but
I know. So this is unique in that case.
Yeah, it's a different spread for sure.
Okay.
So look, we grew up when this film was released, and at 10 years old, we were the target audience for it.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was everywhere at school. Kids would dry and pull up their top lip to their gum line to imitate the Who's, and others would bob their heads side to side, yelling, the Grinch. And if you weren't partaking in those impressions, you were essentially left out of the pop culture discussions at the time. What is strange, though, is that I distinctly remember seeing this film in theaters, just like you, Cody, and thinking it was just okay. And this is coming from a kid who loved Jim Carrey and frequently rewatched Liar Liar and The Mask VHS tapes that we had at our house. I just remember wanting to like the film a lot more than I did.
Mm-hmm. But
I did play along, acting like I loved the film at school, but deep down inside, I knew I was a phony. Rewatching the film, I appreciate the craft of everything. All of the details are so carefully considered, and Jim Carrey's commitment to the performance is off the charts, and that's even by his own standards. He makes this film. As far as the actual moments of the film, I didn't remember much, and I was kind of surprised by that. Instead, I can recall how the movie made me feel, which it did this time around too, which is essentially nauseated.
Knew it.
There it is.
And I think it's due to the incessant, zany camera angles and gross out humor.
Yep.
For those reasons, I don't think I ever truly connected with this film in the same way as you did, Cody. But something tells me you may have read my general take or general disgust while we were watching the film on Zoom.
No, I avoided it, but when we watched the film over and over, you mentioned the nauseated feeling that you experienced,
did.
So I had to address it.
But to feed off your general take, I'll admit that the cinematography fits well with the subject matter. I won't dispute that, and that my stomach may be weak to that. But let's also not forget that you essentially held Connor and I at gunpoint to ride this roller coaster.
That's right.
In your
it's
metaphor.
The Grinch or nothing.
And so I wasn't seeking this ride. I was forced into a seat.
Okay. I'll admit that. Yeah.
And let me finish with this. I will call it fate because I had a pile of work that I had to do recently at home. And I decided to watch kind of second screen another Dr. Seuss film adaptation, 2003's The Cat in the Hat. And looking back on it, it's funny to think that the studio saw the success of How the Grinch Stole Christmas and decided to repeat the same exact formula.
Yeah.
Wacky camera work, heavy prosthetics, and casting a titan of comedy at the time, Mike Myers. He was hot off the Austin Powers movies, and so he seemed like a natural fit. But the film doesn't work anywhere near as well as How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You could feel that The Cat in the Hat was a short story being stretched into a feature-length film in a way that How the Grinch Stole Christmas never did. In fact, it actually made me appreciate this film even more.
Great. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So maybe a little more of a nuanced take than you were expecting, Cody.
A little, but still fairly neutral. That's all I'll say.
Well, I'm done being Switzerland here. It's time, Connor. What did you think?
Okay. Well, 'tis the season, boys. It's that heartwarming time of year where the holiday magic is in the air, the holiday lights are going up around town, and we're spending time with our loved ones. And you know what? This time is precious. We don't get much of it. And this week, we spent 1 hour and 45 minutes of that beautiful, precious time watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, I know what you're already thinking. We've got a little Grinch on our hands here. He's a Scrooge. He hates Christmas.
Uh-huh.
No, I just didn't grow up with this movie. It was never a part of my family's holiday film rotation, and yes, I saw it for the very first time as a 35-year-old man. So I can offer a very clear-eyed take on this movie without any nostalgic baggage weighing me down. And I'll be the first to admit, I love movies that hold a special place in family lore. Those are the best movies because it's no longer just a movie, it actually becomes like a stitch in the family tapestry, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it many times, but a lot of families have a certain set of movies that are just famous in their household for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And knowing them and quoting them becomes a special language that like only your family speaks. So I'm very happy that you have that with The Grinch, Cody. I think that's great. Those are really hard to come by.
Thank you.
Super special when you have those.
Mm-hmm.
But
That said, that said, now that that's out of the way, can you both guess the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie?
Oh, it's not
Or
good.
do you know it?
Ooh.
I know
I
it's not
don't
good.
know it. I'm feeling like a 23%.
Oh, okay. Tell me how you really feel.
Wow.
What about you, Cody?
I'm going to go like, I'll go like 38.
Okay. It's currently sitting at a 50%.
Oh, okay.
Audience score 59%. And I have to say, I agree with the rest of the world on that. I think this movie is like a 2.5 out of 5 at best. If I had to sum this movie up in one word, I think it would be annoying. Everything about this movie felt like work to watch. It's like, as you teed up, complete visual and sensory overload the entire time, and it felt like a nightmare version of Dr. Seuss's story that lost all the charm of his work.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt to me like Ron Howard was trying to do a holiday version of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice or Edward Scissorhands with a misunderstood weirdo as the main character, but it just doesn't have the magic or the heart of those movies. And personally, I think I would have preferred to see Burton's take on it, actually. The songs are annoying. The Who's look annoying. It's also way too long. The plot is really, really shaggy with the whole backstory of him getting bullied, the bizarre love triangle between the mayor and the mayor's girlfriend that just seems like really far-fetched, I guess I'll say. And yes, Carrey's performance is super committed. It's obviously great. But why does anyone even like the Grinch in this movie? He sucks.
Yeah.
He ruins everything. The whole movie, it just felt so mean-spirited. I thought the singing portion at the end was just totally unearned too. I mean, after all they've been through with this character that's been terrorizing them.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I just felt like I'm being told this movie is good when it's not.
By Cody.
By Cody,
Yeah.
mostly. Again, I'm not the audience for this. I could see kids loving the dumb humor and the chaotic spectacle of the whole thing. And I could see parents enjoying something different than the typical holiday movie tropes. But I saw it outside of those two categories. And for me, it just didn't land this time around. And I'm sorry that I didn't enjoy it and was on my phone most of the time when we were watching it, Cody.
Let me ask this honestly, though. Do you think that had anything to do with your enjoyment and giving it a chance? Or was that just like you just knew? You just knew.
I think I just knew. There was something for me, like as a kid, I didn't see this movie in theaters. I didn't even want to see it on DVD or home video because I just thought it looked annoying. And I was kind of right after all of that.
Damn, dude. Well, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it. Obviously, I think you were just so wrong here. But, interesting take. But as we agreed, you guys have allowed me to rebuttal here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wait, actually, do you guys hear something in the background?
I was just muted.
Okay. You don't need to mute. Don't worry.
Some people were walking by on my street, but they're almost gone.
Huh.
Huh.
Gun for hire.
Oh, shit.
What? Holy.
No way.
Tyler?
It is my pleasure to introduce my brother Tyler,
Wow.
a fellow Grinch lover, in a new segment that I'm going to call Hired Gun.
What?
Thank you to our composer, Jordan Summerlad, for the new bumper.
Shit.
So in the case of this film, I felt the overwhelming need to bring in a mercenary as one last rebuttal to the dispassion, to the disinterest. So, Tyler, if you'd please, take it away.
Hate, double hate, loathe entirely. That's how I feel about Connor and Mark's lack of Christmas spirit.
Wow.
Look, I want to start by saying I was invited here specifically by my brother to defend our mutual love for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Mark, if my sources are correct, I believe you aptly used a Goldilocks analogy earlier. And if that's the case, Connor, you're way too wrong. And Mark, you're too wrong. And Cody, you're just right. What absolutely disgusts me here are Connor's unfounded critiques, lacking empathy, and Mark's Swiss-like neutrality. Pathetic. You two chose this movie of all movies to dump your negativity onto. This is the one you guys had circled on your calendar.
It was too easy.
This is the hill you've chosen to die on. You had every movie ever made to complain about, and you said, no. Let's go after this expression of joy and ingenuity of craft. Let's start with Jimmy C. Jim Carrey didn't just play the Grinch. He spiritually relocated into a cave and lived as an unbothered, resentful hermit who eats glass for breakfast for at least 3 months. The commitment was heroic. He basically invented a new category of acting, cardio-based performance art. I mean, the New York Jets could use this lean, green, stinky machine. To address some of your critiques, zany camera angles, etc., guys, it's Whoville. It's literally supposed to feel like Christmas exploded in front of you. Complaining that it's overstimulating is like watching Fast and Furious and saying, hey, wait, why isn't everyone driving at a reasonable speed?
Okay.
And we know how this goes. People who always want Christmas movies to feel like soft jazz and plaid blankets. Cool. Enjoy that. You guys can go hang out with the Mayor Augustus Mayhews of the world. And the Grinch lives on because it deserves to. People quote it. Memes exist everywhere around the holidays. The lines engraved themselves into society. So yeah, you can go ahead and call it loud or weird or exaggerated or say it didn't work for you. But just know that your Christmas spirit has officially expired and you're now on the naughty list. You can keep your sour takes on the Grinch, more for the rest of us. Or as the Grinch would say, one man's toxic sludge is another man's potpourri. And with that, I take my leave, gentlemen, proudly and triumphantly. Cut, print, check the gate, moving on.
Wow. Incredible.
Wow. Well done, Ty.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Tyler, thank you for coming onto the show to provide another source of sanity, honestly.
Okay.
And just even the odds a little bit. So thank you for your service, brother.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Tyler, good to see you, my man.
Yeah, nice to see you.
See
Good to see you guys.
Bye.
Okay. Wow. Something else in your bag of tricks here, huh?
What a treat.
Yeah, I'll do anything I can.
Well, I'm glad you brought Tyler because Connor's got a special guest of his own to bring on here.
Do I?
No.
Oh.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
That would be.
That would be incredible.
I was like, did you guys talk about something that I wasn't aware
holy
of?
Shit. Wow.
That was great.
That was amazing.
Okay, well, we've aired out all of our dirty laundry here. We've said things we can never take back. Some of us will be on the right side of history, but despite our feelings, let's get into a little bit of the production background on the film and, maybe a bit more of a free-form discussion after that and kind of see what sparks from that. Maybe I can get you both to like this film just a hair more than you do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think it's right to start with Dr. Theodore Seuss Geisel himself.
Yeah.
Who was very well known for protecting his work. He refused to sell film rights to his books before his death in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
But after he passed, his widow, Audrey Geisel, shifted gears and started exploring merchandising deals, as one does. And in 1998, she made waves by announcing the auction of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and specifically its live-action film rights. The terms were intense. Buyers had to pay $5 million up front, plus a percentage of box office earnings, merchandising, book tie-ins, and music sales.
Wow.
In addition to that, only directors with a high budget track record were even considered for this. And as for the Grinch himself, only actors like Jack Nicholson, Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams, Adam Sandler, or Jim Carrey, of course, were considered, with Jim Carrey ultimately convincing Audrey to approve his casting when they met on the set of Man on the Moon. And supposedly he kind of flipped around and flashed his famous Grinch smile at her. And that was the moment that sealed the deal, and she approved the casting. And this all led to the green light of the film with a budget of about $123 million.
Wow.
Eventually grossing about $345 million worldwide.
Despite my feelings on Ron Howard's Grinch, it did get some good awards buzz at the time. Obviously, a lot of great things within the movie itself. The 73rd Academy Awards, the film won Best Makeup and Hairstyling, in addition to earning nominations for Best Production Design and Best Costume Design. Carrey's performance earned him a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor.
So we're talking about a Academy Award-winning film right now.
Right.
We are.
Yeah. Strangely, how does that Rotten Tomato score feel at the moment?
Really accurate. Spot on to me.
It almost sounds as if people who don't make films rated it, and it's an aggregate, and people who do make films voted in these craftspeople into the very top award that you can receive.
I mean, the production design was great. I mean, there was a lot of really great visual aspects to it.
Okay.
But Cody, I think it's only this year that it's a mandatory rule for the Academy to actually watch the films. So that might excuse why
no one watched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's got to be it.
In seriousness, those technical words and nominations are so well deserved. I've been on the record at this point for saying that I think the production design and everything in this film is incredible. There's a lot of lore surrounding the makeup and prosthetics in particular for this film. Stories about Jim Carrey being subjected to claustrophobic torture in a yak hair Grinch suit, and the production needing to hire a CIA specialist to teach him coping techniques that were actually utilized by captured spies, which is just insane. He also chain smoked, punched himself in the leg. He kicked a hole in the wall, and he also listened to the Bee Gees in order to get through this process. Carrey needed to be in the suit for a whopping 92 days.
Wow.
Just let that sink in.
It's a long time.
Yeah. And the production did start out rough on the makeup front for sure, with designer Kazuhiro Tsuji nearly quitting due to his struggles with an understandably frustrated Jim Carrey, Mark, as he said, kicking holes in walls and yelling at people. And eventually that relationship improved and Tsuji returned and powered through. This eventually earned him that Oscar, as well as a green card, which the filmmakers helped him attain due to his work on the film.
That's awesome.
We also have to mention the production design under Michael Kornblythe. We see an unprecedented number of sets and practical builds on the Grinch. I mean, it's crazy. The team utilized around 7 stages and the back lot at Universal Studios. Nearly every building and object on set was whoified in some way, using the books of Dr. Seuss as design inspiration. Each set designer was given their own individual set to develop and execute, working closely with the props department to populate Whoville with over 300 specialty props, 8,000 ornaments, 2,000 candy canes, 152,000 pounds of fake snow, and 2 million linear feet of styrofoam.
My God. Which, Mark, I think you had noted somewhere that's like 6 miles of styrofoam,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Damn.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, and equally impressive are the costumes under Rita Ryak, who was inspired by 1950s couture and vintage cookbooks to help inform the food-themed costuming.
Mm.
The detail is nothing short of immaculate, if you ask me, in a nauseating way at times. But local communities even helped with some of the costumes and backgrounds, such as Ventura County's Brookside Elementary School, where a group of second graders were recruited to decorate outfits. In all, nearly 450 costumes were created, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
And the cool thing, many of the costumed background performers were actually Cirque du Soleil acrobats. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No.
That definitely gave all of Whoville this energetic and whimsical quality.
And then finally, we're going to get deeper into Ron Howard and Jim Carrey's massive contributions to this film, but they really are at the heart of what works, or according to Connor, what doesn't work. Jim Carrey seems to be an inherently cynical, intelligent person, and looking at his irreverent interviews, his borderline disrespectful and blunt red carpet appearances, I think it's clear he sees and cuts right through the known bullshit that is required to navigate Hollywood. And I think that essence, combined with his talent for physical comedy and improvisation, really manifested into this role and the character, a character that is so cynical, but is simultaneously endearing because of his wit and cleverness. And we're almost feeling what he's feeling by proxy, that herd-like dedication of Whoville to materialism and superficiality. And with that said, I'm not a Grinch, but I definitely get that frustration. He just wants to be himself, an individual who goes against the grain. So I do feel like Jim Carrey was destined to play this role as a result. And simply put, Ron Howard, he's just kind of the counterpoint to that. His warm, sure-footed direction and dedication to family and themes of inspiration and warmth. He signed onto this film specifically to work with Jim Carrey, and I do think it's a match made in heaven, and he brings that warmth and joy that I think you found was lacking, Connor. To each their own.
Well, I think we should open things up to a bit of general observations within the entirety of the film. What stood out to you guys on this watch? Connor, your first watch. Cody, your probably like 25th watch at this point?
Probably.
Yeah, how many? 25. Wow.
It's once a year. So, and I think we may have failed to mention so far that this is the 25th anniversary of this film.
Oh,
wow. That's right. Yeah,
that's right.
Because it came out like months after Castaway.
Right.
I do remember seeing both in theaters.
Oh, right. Wow. Back-to-back 25th anniversary movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least 25 times, because I think I've watched it once per year.
Wow. It's a lot of time you're not going to get back.
Does the watch with us count as your watch this year, or are you going to watch it again?
Well, I watched it once more, alone, just watching through for like proper Easter egg analysis and whatnot. So I did watch it one more time on the big screen at home.
Okay.
But that will be my last time for this year. Yeah. Obviously we haven't talked much about the other performances of the film. We've mainly focused on, Jim Carrey, obviously, who's the main draw, but we have Taylor Momsen, who is kind of the heart of the film in a lot of ways. She combats against that irreverence that the Grinch and Jim Carrey bring. I mean, what did you guys think of like the introduction of Taylor Momsen, her first film, knowing that she's grown up, she's been on, Gossip Girl, she's in a band now, but what'd you think of her in this film?
I thought she was perfectly cast for this film. I thought she brought a very sweet and innocent energy to the performance, and it's pretty crazy to see pictures of her now because, like, as you alluded to, Cody, she is the lead singer of the hard rock band, the Pretty Reckless, which is like almost diametrically opposed to what she does in this film. It's pretty crazy to think about. And I mean, she does have that song she sings by herself in this film.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where Are You, Christmas?
Where it all started.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that performance, Cody? Does that scream future rock band lead singer?
I'd say no, but I think it gets the point across. I'm sure her vocal skill was still developing at that age, very, very young. But I think them leaving it as is does actually create a kind of sense of purity that, like, what do you want it auto-tuned? I mean, she's a little kid, and she brought a lot of other elements to the rest of the film that made it worth casting, even though she doesn't have like perfect pitch, I suppose. But
I was hoping you were going to say that or call me an asshole for saying that, because I completely agree. It may not be like something you want to revisit, but in the context of this film, I think her performance of that song fits pretty well.
Yeah, I think she did what she needed to do in this movie. And it must have been a really, really cool experience for her being like, I don't know, even 10 years old, maybe? Like, she's probably our age-ish now. So how amazing of an experience is that to be on this movie, working with Jim Carrey, Ron Howard, being on that set every day? I mean, that must have been a really amazing intro to her creative life.
Yeah, I think she was 7 years old.
That's so
when
young. Wow.
The film came out, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really young. And speaking of, we kind of had speculated during our, live watch through together, like, why does she not have the big, as Connor, you put, like, annoying who knows?
The
And
mouse
we
nose.
The mouse nose, yeah. And we speculated that it may have been like an issue with prosthetics on like a young talent of that age, some sort of restriction.
So they explain it away, right?
They explain it away with the
dialogue.
line like, you haven't grown into your nose yet. And that's why she looks like a normal, quote unquote, human, I suppose. But in looking more into this, it was because of restrictions. They couldn't apply facial prosthetics.
Yeah.
Oh, no
but
way.
they could apply a set of denture, like teeth, like slip over dentures to do the teeth, but not to the face. It was apparently a very strict edict that they had to follow. So they just kind of wrote it into the script. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like one of many things in this film that like doesn't make any sense. Like you'd think somebody would just have that nose or that appearance from birth. Like, how would your nose grow into that? I don't know. Like
I don't know.
It kind of added on the list of things that are not really explained in a logical way.
I don't know. I buy it, but
I think it works too, just from a thematic level, because it makes her stand out amongst the town.
Mm-hmm. And did you guys know the Where Are You Christmas song? I guess that was originally a collaboration with Mariah Carey.
Oh,
who I think may have written the song or like did a demo of it that still exists somewhere and was going to be in the end credits, but she dropped out, and I guess Faith Hill stepped in.
Huh.
And another cool thing, at what point did you guys realize who the narrator of the film was?
So I caught that pretty immediately.
No way, really?
Yeah, well, it's. I think it says Anthony Hopkins. Like, there's narration by. It's one of the opening credits, like Anthony Hopkins. Let me know if I'm wrong by that, but I feel like that was introduced early on in the movie. Otherwise, I don't know. I probably would have been in the same boat as you, Mark.
Man, Connor, I'm surprised you caught that and you weren't on your phone. It's crazy.
Well, that came later. I was still giving it a shot at this point, 5 minutes in.
I honestly didn't know until I read it on the IMDb trivia. So that was way over my head. One interesting fact I saw on the IMDb trivia too was that Ron Howard, as an act of solidarity, showed up in the full Grinch prosthetics one day. He wanted to kind of know what it felt like to go through that process. I think it was like 2.5 hours to get everything on and then an hour to take it off. And even funnier is that Carrey was initially upset when he saw Howard for the first time in costume because he thought it had been a badly cast stunt double who looked nothing like him.
Yeah.
And so he was initially pretty angry about it. And then once he realized it was the director, he ended up appreciating the gesture.
I can imagine that is a very nice way to show I
Yeah.
see you. I see,
Your struggle.
of being trapped in this suit and sealed into this chamber. Which, like, do you guys think you could do that? That does seem miserable to be
I
sealed
don't know.
into that suit.
I mean,
yeah.
92 days, multiple hours a day, and you're probably doing like really long shoot days on top of that. It does seem like torture.
Right. I think anybody who said that they could would quickly realize that like it would be a hell of a process.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I think some of the anger that Jim Carrey felt probably was reflected in his performance.
Yeah.
So I think the role kind of fits how he was probably feeling when they were filming the movie.
Yeah.
Full method.
Yeah. And in some ways, I feel like 2 or 2.5 hours is almost quaint compared to some of the other like prosthetic jobs we hear about nowadays.
Yeah, I was going to
or
say,
maybe-
I feel like we've talked about our memory of it being like 10 hours or something. Like, oh man, he had to go through so many hours of makeup.
Right.
So when you said 2.5, it was almost like, oh, it doesn't seem that bad, but obviously it's pretty terrible.
I think 8 hours gets tossed around a lot, but from my understanding, I think that might have been like the initial time they applied it.
Okay.
But there are kind of varying sources of how long it took. But I think the most commonly accepted is about 2.5 hours of putting it on and then an hour taking it off.
One thing I was curious about, how did you guys feel about Jim Carrey's voice? Like he's doing this voice inspired by, it sounded like Sean Connery, almost like 007.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why do you guys think he chose to go that route with the voice?
No idea.
I really don't know. I mean, it's kind of become an iconic piece of the movie. Like it goes hand in hand with the character now, but it was a choice. Like it's maybe not the choice I would have thought would be the right fit for the character, but it just is that now.
Yeah. It's like, why is Shrek Scottish?
Exactly. If a character's green, they have a Scottish accent. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure that it's a hybrid of reasons, what you guys are saying, plus like if you've seen the 1966 animated 26-minute special, it's Boris Karloff who voices the Grinch and as well as the narrator. And it doesn't sound the same by any means, but has this very distinct like timbre to his voice. So maybe part of it was like factoring in that context a little bit, but amplifying like the comedy aspect of it.
It's got to be also just to provide a contrast to the way the Who speak, just direct opposite of the way that everybody's sounding and behaving. He not only looks different, but he sounds completely different too.
Mm-hmm. More aggressive too.
Yeah.
All I know is that I love it.
That makes one of us.
Cody, you alluded to this in your general take, but do you guys think that the Grinch is actually the hero because he exposes the Whoville's consumerism?
I don't think so.
I think that Cindy Lou Who is considered to be the protagonist of the film that that like drives the film forward. It's kind of unique in structure in that way because she drives the film forward. She's the one as this like young, wise beyond her years child that realizes that this is not what Christmas is about. And I think that the Grinch can be considered the antagonist of the film, and Cindy Lou is butting up against the antagonist. It just so happens that in this film, she is able to change the antagonist to a protagonist. So structurally, I feel like that is something that's unique about it, and you don't see often. But yeah, I do think that he is the throughout several points in the film, in a weird way, he is the inciting incident for the Who's to realize this, sure, because through several monologues, he points out that, it's always about gifts, and you know where it all ends up? In the garbage up by me. I could hang myself with all the
It's so dark.
Christmas neckties. It's so dark.
It's so dark.
What's strange to me, going back to that question too, is that I haven't watched the original animated version, film version in a while, but for some reason I feel like I had more empathy for that version of the Grinch than this one.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they spend time with his backstory. I don't know why,
That's
but
a good point.
just, Cody, you mentioned, you gain empathy for him, but like, I feel like I never did. That's where I actually agree with Connor, like where they all hold hands and are happy at the end. I felt like that was a little unearned.
Like right after he burns the tree. Yeah. And it's it's like
Burn,
you destroyed
baby,
Christmas.
burn.
He ruined everything. And he's like this like pretty grotesque character. Like there's not a lot of redeeming qualities about him. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Those other characters that I mentioned, like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, like they're much more sympathetic. And yeah, I think this backstory scene that they've added is designed to make you feel a lot of sympathy for him. But to me, it just felt like so heavy-handed. Like I don't really care about this guy's backstory.
I mean, I think it's heavy-handed in that it is a children's tale with added benefit of like adult jokes and humor, but at its heart, it is still like a classic children's tale that's meant to have children understand it. So yeah, that like redemption arc and inserting that backstory, it's not subtle for sure, but I think the subtlety does come into some of the visual language of it, like him climbing to the top of Mount Crumpet as a child. Like I personally, every time I see that shot, I feel bad for this kid that's been cast out of society because of how he looks. He's standing there in that beautiful crossfade to the adult Grinch who still has hatred in his like way too small heart. And also you get, we'll get to more of this later, but you get intricate details like Martha May's story of like loving the Grinch since she was a kid, basically. And apparently, Easter egg, still wearing some of the jewels that the little Grinch gave to her on the tree topper. She like wears the jewels in her hair. Yeah. Apparently, all these years later. So I just love that detail, even though yes, it's a bit blunt in its messaging. I acknowledge that, but it's a kid's tale,
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's talk about the Grinch having a lot of hate in his heart. Clearly, like they're trying to get us to be more sympathetic to him as a character by showing us this backstory. Also giving him the dog because he has a companion. I think just having some sympathy for this pet that he keeps around as well shows that he at least has like some goodness in his heart.
He treats it like shit though. He's a bad pet owner.
Fetch me my cloak.
So I don't know if that works, Connor.
Okay.
Well, and also we need to point out, so the dog's name is Max in the movie, played by Kelly the dog, but also played by Chip, Topsy, Zelda, Stella, and Bo. Wow. Who were all rescue dogs that formed this one character. I guess each of the dogs had their own skill set. Like one is really good at pulling stuff, like pulling the fake sleigh, and then one is really good at pushing a button and, so on. But each of them had a skill and they all made up Max the dog, which is kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the clarity. Yeah. I mean, amazing acting job by all these performers.
Yeah. The dogs did a really good job.
They did a great job.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, Connor, Max definitely does act as like almost an audience surrogate, prodding the Grinch out into the world, even though, he is treated like shit. But there's that great line at the end where, like, with tears streaming down his face and his heart has grown, he tells Max he loves him. And I'm like, it's all worth it. It's fine.
Okay. I'll give you that.
So it works for me.
I will say that there was one character that was even worse than the Grinch, which is the mayor.
Yes.
One thing that I noticed and I said while we were watching the movie was that we see from the flashbacks that the mayor was in the same class as the Grinch. So they're the same age, right? By the logic of the film. And so one thing I thought that was really weird and kind of interesting was that the mayor looked way older than the Grinch. Did you guys feel that way too?
Yeah. What's he supposed to be, like in his 50s? I mean, he has white hair.
He looked like he was like late 50s, pushing 60s.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the weird thing is, like, I was going to ask you guys about this. What age are they supposed to be? Like how
no
many
idea.
years ago were those flashbacks in grade school? And obviously the mayor is proposing to Martha May.
Right.
And so are they supposed to be in
Why
like
now?
their 20s or 30s, like when you would typically get engaged, or what, why is he
Again,
asking her
like,
for the first time right
so
now?
many questions, like the logic doesn't really add up, but yeah. Because the Grinch definitely doesn't seem like he's 60 years old. He seems like he's
No.
maybe in his 30s. I don't know. Like if I had to peg him, he'd probably be about our age.
And like very athletic.
Weirdly athletic.
I would have guessed like 40s.
40? Okay.
Very weird body. Can we all just say that?
Yeah.
I thought he looked like an orangutan. Like we said that while we were watching it. Just that
Yeah, you
huge
did.
belly, just grotesque details and character design.
I think all of these things you're saying, the grotesque qualities of the film, the lack of logic you're saying, I think what are bugs for you are features for me. Because these are all just things that like populate this world. And in most films, especially kids' films, I'd say you don't get that amount of detail. So I just like give me more of it, and I'll invent things in my head in the years that I've seen.
I
it.
guess
It's
we're
gross.
we're talking
Cody,
about
it's
it.
gross. like let's call it as it is. The
Like the pudding?
eating thing
Yeah.
was disgusting.
That is so funny. You guys
Oh
don't
my
find that
God.
funny.
It's weird.
I did not laugh.
I didn't either.
Took a Tums after watching that and didn't like that.
I just love the play on and the commentary on, like, we all just went through Thanksgiving, and it's known to be this time where you like gorge yourself with food and to like disgusting levels, and it's like well known that that's what people do. And the fact that they in Whoville, this kind of like vivid explosion Christmas town location, has kind of amplified that to like the nth degree, where they're just like shoving pudding after pudding in his mouth, and then they go to like fruitcakes. They cut back to fruitcakes, and then they cut back to fudge. It's like, the rule of threes, the three jokes.
Well, it's like what he's not tasting any of it. They're like, here, try my pudding, try my cake, and they're just like stuffing it in. There's no way he'd be able to tell those apart.
That's why it's so funny. It's so good.
Also, last thing about the Grinch's body, I feel like I'm seeing way too much of it. Like I didn't
How did the
see
clothes
anything
work?
inappropriate, but like it felt like I did.
Yeah. I had no idea how did the clothes work? I just want to know. Like he's naked for majority
Sometimes he's
of it?
clothed. He's just like naked a lot of the time.
I mean, you could say the same thing about many cartoon characters that.
But this is live action.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a body there. There's like a third dimension. It's just it was a weirdly adult. I felt like
Yeah.
like something I shouldn't have seen when I was a kid.
Nightmarish.
Okay. Yeah, there is something like weirdly grotesque about it. I will absolutely admit that. But for some reason, I find that to be additive, just funny as a part of his overall, physical comedy. I did want to bring up, speaking of adult jokes, I think that Audrey Geisel was pretty stringent about not letting through too many adult jokes. Like there were a bunch of things in the script that she force them to cut, because at the end of the day, like this is still a children's
movie.
story.
Yeah.
It's a kid's movie, but I do feel like a lot of things slip through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I was surprised by how adult it felt, actually.
Yeah, like let's go through a few of them. Off the top of my head, the Grinch comes out of the dump it to crumpet like trash chute thing, and then flies directly into Martha May's cleavage.
Yeah.
It's like a long shot too. Like they really hold on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they do.
he has the great line like, "Hello, Martha," like right as he's. It's like, the most offensive, I'd say, is probably the key party.
Yeah.
At
In the
least it was subtle,
flashback.
though.
So I looked it up
Yeah.
because I was convinced when we first watched it that it was like people putting their keys in a fishbowl so no one would drive home. But then I actually searched it and found a Reddit thread where people were like, no, this is like 100% a key party.
A swingers.
Everybody lives super close together in Whoville, so no one's driving. Like there's no cars.
Somebody thought it out.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
wow, people have thought of this.
I mean, that clearly slipped through in the script, and it's probably the most adult joke. And maybe they passed it off as like, oh, it's a bowl of keys, so no one drives.
It's
actually,
like a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing for sure.
It really is. But it is funny that the camera like tracks into it, and it's like, oh,
Aren't they like all kind of like hungover the next day or something? Like they cut to the morning and they're like,
probably around that same sequence. Also in the flashback, we have the Who babies arriving, from like the equivalent of the stork.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them lands on someone's at someone's front door, and the guy's like, "Our baby's here. He looks just like your boss." Come on, that is a great joke. That's really funny.
It was good.
It's all just like so offbeat. Yeah.
And I think that's what I appreciate about it is I like that kind of weird tenacity. And even if tonally like it shouldn't fit technically.
Yeah.
Right. Like at one point Cindy Lou is about to be like crushed in that present machine. I mean, that's like incredibly dark for a kid's movie.
Yeah, but it's fine. It turned out fine.
It all worked out.
And really quick, since we're in that flashback, era, I did want to just mention the name Josh Ryan Evans. To me, he was kind of an MVP to match Jim Carrey as the young Grinch. Like he had a big job to do.
He was great.
In that, like,
yeah.
You have this mythic, this legendary, physical, amazing comedian. What do you do to try and match that as like the young child version?
Right.
You guys would say he did a great job, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was great.
He did a really good job.
And just because like we may or may not have friends listening to this episode, again, my brother was here, friend of the show, Josh, who has come on before to talk about There Will Be Blood with us.
Mm-hmm.
Separately, we always quote the line after getting like a bad haircut or accidentally shaving off part of our facial hair. Look at that hack job.
So
we
many
quote
weird, goofy lines of dialogue like that throughout this movie.
Yeah, we quote that all the time.
That's great.
It's like unusually high amount of repeat value throughout the year. I don't know why, but let's go into this really quick. You guys are being very patient as we walk through this film, and I don't want to take up too much time on top of me forcing you to watch the film, but are there moments in the movie that did work for you guys? Like, did you have a favorite beat or, a favorite improvised moment from Jim Carrey? Because like he's notorious for that. And that's part of what makes the film work for so many people are those improvised moments. So like, was there anything watching through where you're like, okay, that was funny actually?
Yeah. I had a couple. I think most of them included Jim Carrey. I think the famous schedule monologue was just as good as I remembered.
Yeah.
Really loved that moment.
Yeah.
Where he was talking about having dinner with himself and he can't cancel it again.
That was
a great
funny.
little line.
Yeah.
I also thought when he was building the sled to be like reverse Santa, that montage was really fun too.
Mm-hmm. I remember, Connor, you saying like, was that supposed to be in a day?
Well, it's like a matter of hours that he like builds this whole sled and like MacGyvers this thing together.
Mm-hmm. I do kind of love that general plot point and aspect of the character is that he is an incredible inventor.
Yeah, it's true. So one of my favorite moments was a visual gag, and it was during that young Grinch sequence with Josh Ryan Evans, where he's hiding his face after getting the quote-unquote hack job.
Oh, yeah.
Because he shaved his face, and the teacher's like, put that book down. Like, let's see that face. Like, why are you hiding? And then he has his foot up in place of the book once he takes the book down, and there are just these series of things that are blocking his face. So it was a bit of a groaner, but I did find it really funny. I was like, okay, come on.
Yeah, I think I commented to you guys in the moment, like, terrible teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She like joins in and laughing at him.
She's laughing at him, and that is why, guys, I'm like, he hates the Who's. He hates Christmas.
Yeah.
And I sympathize, I empathize with this creature who was like tortured by all these people growing up as a child. So yeah.
I mean, it was one event, Cody.
Okay, it's one event that we see, but I think
True.
the implication is like he is bullied by that fucking mayor and, you know, many other people laughing at him in the classroom. And, you know, God bless Martha May. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why she is attracted to him. Just because he's like something different. I don't personally, I don't get it, but I know that's it's like a key plot device.
Right, you are, Martha. Okay. Well, I appreciate your patience in walking through all of this, guys. If you're comfortable, I think we can wrap it out there.
Yeah.
But I'll take the wheel again. I know I've been talking a lot, but if you guys will allow me here. So for me, what I think ultimately all of this comes down to, and what I love about The Grinch, is commitment. So Ron Howard, Jim Carrey, the entire cast and crew, they really gave it their all. And that's probably what I appreciate most. There's really no half-assing in this, for better, for worse. There's no half-assing, and I think we've discussed this before on the podcast. We do all appreciate big swings, you know, even if it doesn't always work. But for me, this one does really work. Every craftsperson, every performer, they went all in to create this world of Whoville, no matter how ridiculous it is, and that is a hard thing to do, as very few of these people actually know how this is going to pan out. And if their commitment to the film will have been worth it. Like, they don't know what it's going to look like. There have been examples of it going horrifically wrong in the past. So I love that about The Grinch. Everyone operating at 100%. I think that effort itself is worth celebrating, let alone the award-nominated Connor and winning Connor visualization of this world. You know, born from the pressure of adapting from one of the most beloved children's books of all time. So for me, this was the next logical step after both original Home Alones that we covered the past 2 years. And, you know, I thank you guys again for your patience and grace on this one. Did I convince you of anything at all here?
Connor, did your heart grow any sizes after that desperate plea?
Well, again, really, really love the passion that you have for this movie, Cody. And it's, I appreciate it for sure. I think my heart is going to stay at the size it is, but who knows? Maybe in the future, if I watch this movie again, and who knows, like with future family, possibly, I could see possibly changing my tune. But for now, I'm just kind of standing up on the mountain with the Grinch, looking down on Whoville and not really loving it.
Fair enough. Well, I will hold out hope for that, but thank you guys for your thoughts. It has been so fun to re-explore how The Grinch Stole Christmas, but before we go, you know, I'm still feeling a little bit sensitive, a little bit hurt that you guys didn't love the film. So let me just leave you with this last little surprise.
You are mean ones, Con and Mark.
Okay.
You've got takes that simply reek. If the Grinch ain't on your nice list, then you're just a pair of freaks, Con and Mark. Even Max the dog would call your logic weak. Your curmudgeons, Con and Mark.
Oh, it keeps going.
Your critiques are ill-informed. I bring evidence and reason, and your rants are dull and bored, Con and Mark.
Okay.
You're a two-decker dipshit podcast duo with really bad taste.
Wow.
So happy holidays to my co-hosts.
Any more surprises in your bag of tricks there, buddy?
No, that's it. Big thank you to our listeners for another fun year of Scenecraft. What do you think of How the Grinch Stole Christmas? You can email us at contact@scenecraftpodcast.com with any of your thoughts or comments, or follow us on most social media platforms at Scenecraft Podcast for new releases and scheduling updates. Once again, we're excited to announce that we're now available to stream on YouTube, so we'd appreciate a like and subscribe on our channel. You can also support the podcast by leaving us a review or star rating on your platform of choice. A very special thanks to Jordan Summerlad for our theme music. This has been Scenecraft, where we break down the craft behind our favorite scenes. Happy holidays.